Sophie.
Yeah, Sophie, hi, nice to meet you.
Hi.
This is your first time here with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon couldn't make it today,
Uh-huh.
and I also got into a little bit of a spat with my husband this weekend over some, like, I wanted to take the boys to the trampoline park, like Brandon said last week,
Oh, right.
or like go-karting, and my husband was like, there's no way we're doing that as a family. Sophie could get a brain injury, and that would throw off her gymnastics career. And
You said that, or your husband?
my husband said
Okay.
that. I was like, you need to calm down, it's not that big of a deal. And so the boys and I ended up going to the trampoline park without them, and essentially my husband just accused me of not caring about Sophie or not having any relationship with her. And so I was like, you know, we're going to therapy anyway. Brandon doesn't seem interested. So he kind of suggested that Sophie and I need to work on our relationship. And so he sent her with me today.
Okay. Yeah, it sort of seems like maybe the issues that once were with you and Brandon are now kind of entering more areas of the family.
You know, things are definitely, I mean, I'm trying so hard to make a change, because that's why we're in therapy. So things are changing, and evidently, I don't know, it seems like my husband and I just aren't on the same page about what that change needs to look like. But I'm happy to do work to invest in my relationship with Sophie. So
Yeah, that's good to hear. Sophie, I just want to check in with you. This is, I don't know, it could be intimidating and scary to enter this space, and so yeah, I just want you to know that you're welcome to say anything you want here, and it stays in this room, and ultimately I'm here to help your relationship with your mom and your family. But I noticed some, shaking your leg, and how is it being in here right now with your mom?
Fine. I'm just used to, I just want to be, like, doing gymnastics right now, and, yeah, I wish Dad was here.
Yeah, as I've been meeting with your mom and Brandon, it seems like maybe you were closer with your dad. Yeah. Tell me about your relationship with your mom.
It's fine.
Do you spend more time with your dad with doing gymnastics?
Yeah. He takes me to my tournaments, and he helps me practice, and he takes me to my lessons too.
Yeah, I see you kind of smile when you talk about your dad. So it means a lot to you that he's involved in your life the way that he is. So I know that your mom was saying, that your dad thought it would be a good idea for both of you to come in today. What do you guys think that you two, how would you like me to help you today? What would be most beneficial? When you imagine maybe this session going really well.
Did Dad talk to you about this at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did he say?
just said that that he wants us to have a like good relationship, and that I should respect you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way he explained it to me was that I need to kind of get in line with him about what is best for her. I think he was pretty offended that I would suggest something like a trampoline, which is dumb. Like, you're a great gymnast. That's like your whole thing, is that you can jump and bounce and like do all this incredible stuff. But I think he decided that me suggesting some activity that's more in line with what Brandon wants was just kind of like me disregarding Sophie, which I don't agree with, but
yeah, has that argument with your husband been, have you had that argument before, or talked about, you know, these different roles you play in the family, you more with the boys and your husband more with Sophie?
I don't think it's been like an explicit conversation like that. I mean, I know he's protective of her, and he's really involved with everything she does. Like, whenever we play games or anything like that, like, he's honestly more rooting for her, and I'm, like, trying to help the boys, 'cause God knows they need it. I don't know, like, I've always considered it more of just a division of labor, but he seemed pretty upset that, like, it became more than a division of labor this weekend.
Right. Yeah, it seems like that. It does seem like maybe at what first seemed like, oh, we're just dividing up the work of being parents, that it might be affecting your family as a whole in more ways that you maybe didn't think of. So, yeah, I was gonna ask what your role in Sophie's life. You said that God knows that your two sons need help.
I mean,
so when you think about Sophie, you know, what excludes her from that?
I mean, from what I know, she's really high achieving. She gets good grades. She does, like, she was put in the advanced English group at in her class, and she works really hard in gymnastics, and like, I don't really know the extent to which, because her father does, like, oversees her homework and her academics. Like, I don't know, you know, like, I don't know the kids who behave well in my school because they're never in my office. So I know my sons because they're the ones who make mistakes.
Yeah, and that seems to, like, preoccupy your mind a lot, especially with Brandon and everything happening there.
And his influence over his little brother. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sophie, just to you, so, you know, she seems, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but she's achieving the things that you want her to achieve. She seems on the right track according to you. Yeah. So, Sophie, just listening in on how me and your mom are talking, when your mom is saying those things, what comes up?
I guess I don't feel like that a lot. I like school. gymnastics. I just feel like mom can yell a lot, and it's like loud at home. And I feel like it makes me nervous sometimes. And Dad just, I just feel like Dad can calm me down.
How does your dad calm you down?
I feel like he will help me with gymnastics. He like knows all the moves, so like we'll run through the moves together, and I feel like, you know, I like the flips.
Yeah.
Like I'm like flying.
Yeah, it seems like when you're doing gymnastics you feel happy and safe and you're with your dad, and home doesn't really feel like that for you. Yeah, when you think about being at home, what do you imagine? If there's a picture maybe in your head, what does being at home feel like for you?
I don't know, like my brothers like playing together. Like, I don't know, I'm like doing my homework or playing like in my room, but I can hear them outside yelling.
Hear your mom and your dad, or your brothers?
Everyone.
Oh, everyone. Yeah. Does that sound like something that happens at home?
I mean, her brothers are loud.
Yeah.
I feel like this hour every week is the most quiet Brandon ever is. It's just because he doesn't want to engage. I've definitely never yelled at you, but sometimes it's hard to get the boys' attention, or like they just don't want to listen, and so, you know, we have to get loud with them.
Has getting loud helped the situation for you guys, or?
You know, I get that question, and I get that the answer is supposed to be like, no, it normally gets worse, but honestly, like, if your kid was about to walk up to an alligator, you would yell at them. You'd say like, hey, get out of the way, and like, you'd be loud. So, it's, like, I'm not yelling while correcting them, or like while explaining to them what's going on, but sometimes it takes some yelling just to get their attention, or to get them to stop what they're doing.
Yeah, so while that's happening, what I'm hearing from Sophie is she's in her room by herself, hearing all this noise.
Or she's with her dad. He's not much of a yeller. He gets like scary quiet.
Does he escape the situation when fights are happening, yelling is happening?
I wouldn't say he escapes, it's more that like the boys are my problem.
Oh, okay. So that's really been a sort of core part of your family, is like you're taking care of the boys, dad is taking care of the girl. Okay. Do you like that setup, Sophie? Has it just kind of always been like that? Do you sometimes wish do you wish that maybe you had both your mom and dad in your life sometimes? that look like? If maybe we disrupted those two groups within a family. Does that sound like it would, is that just like, yeah, what does that sound like?
I mean, we try to like on Friday nights with game night,
Uh-huh.
but since lately Brandon hasn't been wanting to engage in that, like we try to bring everyone together, but it's hard because Brandon doesn't want to engage, and then like slowly his brother doesn't really want to engage either, and so like I've tried to adapt for them, and all of a sudden like their activities that like Brandon's interested in, she's not allowed to participate in because of her dad. And
She's not allowed to participate in the boys' activities?
Yeah.
Okay. Because your husband wants her to, you know, stay safe so she's like fully functioning for gymnastics.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like the boys are getting older, they want to take more risks, and like I don't want to force her to do like boy activities. Like she's a girly girl. She's not even kind of a tomboy, other than being an athlete. But even her sport is more feminine, and so it's like I'm not trying to force her out of her girl activities. It's just like I don't know how am I supposed to make it so that like she can participate with the rest of the family, especially if her dad is out here like saying like, oh, you don't have to participate in that because that's not good for you.
When your dad says that, Sophie, like you can't participate or you shouldn't, how do you respond, or do you go with it, or what do you want to say back?
I mean, I listen because I feel like Dad is like helping me like get to the Olympics because I really want to go to the Olympics. But like also, I don't know, like I'm like really tough, and like it's really hard to do what I do, and I don't know, I feel like I do like to play with my brothers, and like I can be like strong, like I'm stronger than my older brother. He can't do flips.
Are you wanting to be involved in some of these activities with your brothers? Yeah. So when your dad suggests that you don't do it, or tells you you can't do it, what does that feel like?
Like I know he says it's like for like the Olympics, and I do want that. I just feel like he doesn't want me to get hurt, and but I feel like I get hurt doing gymnastics all the time too, but like I don't know, I feel like they're worried too that like I'll stop doing my homework like my brothers, but like I won't. Yeah. I just like the trampoline stuff sounded really fun. Like,
I mean,
especially practicing gymnastics on them.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun activity that you could have been a part of, but because of this like system where like your go-to parent is your dad, there's it makes sense why there would be an argument about this past weekend. Yeah. As you imagine, Allie, maybe like how do you imagine that your husband would feel about maybe coming into this room and maybe reworking this parenting model that you guys have?
I don't think he'll come.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to be the doctor in the room, and like I know that you're not technically a doctor, but you are here as like a healthcare provider, and he has a tendency of wanting to be like in charge in the room. I think that's hard. Like it would be hard for him to listen.
So even when he tends to get more quiet, the kind of unspoken assumption is that, you know, he kind of has the final say.
We're talking about my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know if he'd be quiet. I think he's diagnosed this situation, and he would want to make sure that all of us agree with his diagnosis. And
What would he say is the diagnosis?
honestly, you might know better than I do. Right now, it feels like I'm a threat to his baby in some way, and that I need to relate to Sophie in a way that's more in line with his vision for her. So, like, that's like,
So, let's just pick up right where we were. Allie, you were talking about this vision that your husband has,
yeah.
sort of, for you and Sophie's relationship.
Yeah. I think that she's like his whole world. And so I think that when he thinks about me, it's more like it's either just as his wife or in relation to Sophie. I like, as much as I feel like I don't get to know a lot about Sophie, I don't really think he knows the boys at all. Like yeah, I yell at Brandon, or I am in his space too much. But the week that his dad was in charge, his dad was just like, do what you do, and like he wasn't gonna correct Brandon, or like he just kind of told Brandon that he was disappointed, and like Brandon is a freshman in high school. He doesn't care what we have to say unless we make him care. So I don't know. I think he thinks I'm invested in the wrong things, maybe.
What do you think you're invested in?
I'm invested in making sure all my kids end up okay. Sophie's okay.
Yeah, what tells you she's okay?
She does well. She does well. Her room is full of trophies. Her walls are covered in trophies and age-appropriate interests, and Brandon's room is dark and messy, and he's lighting fires. Like, that's not a kid who's okay.
Yeah, from the outside it would seem like, all right, these are the kids that need more attention.
Yeah.
Right. I can understand that.
And she does get attention. She gets her dad's attention.
Sophie, do you feel like you're okay? Or does that feel like a hard question to answer?
I mean, Dad says I'm on track to go to the Olympics, so I feel like if I keep like practicing really hard, I can do it. But I feel like I don't know, Dad just like yells at, or like will get mad at Mom for stuff, and that makes me feel sad.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're here in therapy with your family.
Mhm.
And what's sort of these ways that, you know, we've chosen to divvy up responsibilities and care for the children. Something's not working. Would you agree?
I mean, according to the behavior that we're seeing from the boys, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Something's not working.
Yeah. So.
And like, she's here without her dad and she can't talk and she just keeps shaking, so that's
Mhm.
probably not a great sign.
Mhm. Yeah. From what I'm hearing from you, it maybe sounds like these divvying of roles is more your husband's decision? Because he seems to really love the responsibility of Sophie.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's his decision, I don't know if he like consciously made that
Mhm.
choice.
But it'd be uncomfortable maybe for you to suggest something else to him?
Sure, it'd be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I worry that if we were to try to get more, like, combining of the groups,
Mm-hmm.
it would require Sophie being less gymnastics, and I don't think that's what you want. I know that's not what your dad wants.
Mm-hmm.
Or me and the boys would be at the gym all the time. Like, what are the boys gonna do at the gym besides, like, accidentally die? Like, I have no doubt that, like, one would break their neck on a balance beam and the other would start lighting fires in the corner. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah, I can understand that concern. From meeting with Brandon and now Sophie, I am starting to see maybe a pattern of, you know, these kids maybe needing more of a family model, and more connection with the entire family. And, you know, as developing kids, that really sets the foundation for, you know, success in the future for gymnastics and all of those things. And I think your family is actually in a really prime spot for that change. And so I just want to encourage you that, just for being here, because I think we have been seeing and will be doing a lot of good work. So have you ever brought the boys to the gym? Because I imagine, you know, you worry worst case scenario.
Yeah, they've got, like, we've all gone to her meets and things like that, so we've been, like, in the audience, but I know there was a time when they were younger, when we were first, like, Sophie had just started gymnastics and we brought them, but, like, first they wanted to touch everything, and then we were like, no. Because they really wanted to get into the chalk. And, like, it would have been everywhere, and then they would have wasted all the chalk. And then they wanted to, like, go hang off of things, and it just was a nightmare. But they were also younger, and so they were a little easier to corral. I feel like at this point it wouldn't be wise to let them on the floor. And also, like, the girls are all practicing. The boys don't need to be there. And also, like, not to be crass, but, like, it's not just girls Sophie's age who are there. Like, there are some high schoolers that are there, and, like, I don't really want to take Brandon there to, like, observe practice, because he has a hard enough time with girls his own age who are just, like, nerdy, sweet girls. I don't want him, like, falling in love with some senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it just is awkward.
That, yeah, it's potential that that might not be the best way to combine the family activities, but, you know, as Sophie was
Yeah.
describing, you know, her really wanting to be a part of the activities, with the boys, and, yeah. Do you feel like, Sophie, your brothers want to hang out and spend time with you?
No,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wouldn't know because you don't spend much time with them to know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hear them playing together and wish you could be a part of it somehow. Yeah. And you can't really do that much when you're always doing gymnastics and with your dad all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, what are some other spaces that we can imagine together could maybe get you and your husband more on the same page, parenting together
Mhm.
over your 3 children?
Honestly, I feel like it's hard to even like consider
Mm-hmm.
what it might be without asking him,
Right.
because like I don't know what he's willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose he would have to be in charge of that. I don't know, Sophie, what, like, do you and Dad ever do things outside of gymnastics? Like,
He like takes me to some friends' houses sometimes.
do
Or we'll go get ice cream sometimes.
okay, so we could go
After.
get ice cream.
Yeah. When you imagine, Sophie, maybe going out to ice cream with your whole family, what does that feel like when you think about that?
I don't know.
Does it seem like whenever your family is together, are there good times when your whole family's together, or is it mostly yelling?
I feel like my brothers and my mom yell a lot, and my dad will get mad, but I don't know what like flavors they would even like, my brothers, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd want to almost spend more time with them to know what their favorite flavor of ice cream is. Yeah. All right. We'll pick up next week.
Sounds good.